So we're over in Scotland on a 4-day voyage in Thunderchild 2, and we're visiting a place called the Gulf of Corryvreckan. It lies between the islands of Scarba and Jura, and it's a pretty wild place. As the tide enters the narrow stretch of water between the islands of Jura and Scarba, that is the Gulf of Corryvreckan, it speeds up to 8.5 knots and encounters a variety of underwater seabed features. On the western entrance, a basalt pinnacle rises from depths of 70 metres to 29 metres, and lying to east, directly in front of the pinnacle, is a deep hole in the seabed with a depth of 219 metres. As the water flows into the Gulf, it falls into this hole and then encounters the steep face of the pinnacle, causing a massive upwelling surge of water to rise to the surface. On a flood tide, this surge meets swells entering the Gulf from the west and creates standing waves up to 9 metres high. These are not like normal waves, as they form directly over the pinnacle, standing still and breaking heavily. Whirlpools are also formed over the pinnacle and throughout the Gulf as opposing water columns shear, and these can be up to 50 metres wide. In a well-found boat, the Gulf can be safely navigated in fair conditions or at slack water, but I can imagine that in a westerly gale and a flood tide, you wouldn't want to be anywhere near the place, as it would truly be described as unnavigable. During a storm on spring tides, it's said that you can hear the roar from the standing waves and whirlpools up to 10 miles away. The word Corryvreckan translates to cauldron, and that perfectly describes the sea state around the whirlpools, and it's quite something to have the throttle set for 8 knots, just ahead of the standing waves that were breaking behind the boat and not be moving at all. There is an old Irish text known as Cormac's Glossary, written by the King and Bishop of Cashel, Cormac mac Cullinan, who died in the year 908. There is a great whirlpool which lies between Ireland and Scotland to the north, in the meeting of various seas. Its thunderous agitation and its bursting and its roaring are heard amongst the clouds, like the steam boiling of a cauldron of fire. I felt that was a pretty cool description of the place as to how it might have appeared of old during the storm.
Like you don't do that.
No, when you feel the pressure,
yeah. Just let it flow. Then you just open your hand. Oh, she's away. I'm not sure if this is where they hit.
That's pretty impressive though, all the same, isn't it?
Jesus, you can see the water.
Yeah. It's so much clearer from high up, isn't it? Okay, that'll do. I can't take any more stress. Go down. Kieran will catch the drone.
Here, look, stop. Look. Oh, there's an edge. Let's just go stern there, man. Bring it, stop. Look, the size of that.
Fuck, that's impressive, isn't it?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Okay, now land it.
We've only one more battery now, like, and they landed on half the fucking power on this.
Yeah, but we've got loads of footage now. Imagine if we lost the drone now. Yeah.
Just humour me so and turn around once more and just back that one that's still there behind us.
No, land it. Land it. We can fly it again once we change the SD card. Now. There it goes. pretty impressive whirlpools here in the Gulf. It was cool to see our old Interceptor 42 Ventura for the first time since I built her 15 years ago, and still looking good. She's operated by Craignish Cruises, running boat tours in the Gulf. Say.
What's some of that?
Nice to know the Irish Coast Guard are looking after us.